I think that it is crucial to let Ghanaians know exactly the situation they find themselves. And I say this because of the fact that in 11 days we are going for an election. And people must know exactly the issues that we are dealing with. And the next government, what is the next government will be confronted with. As we speak today, Randy, if you take out all the PPA's related costs, like interest on default payments, you know, when you default, there's an interest on it, like exchange rate losses, which are liabilities that definitely the state will have to deal with. If you take out all that, just the normal energy cost that the IPPs, and we are just dealing with just the IPPs today, the state owes these IPPs $1.6 billion. If you just take, you know, because you asked a very crucial point as to whether they are servicing their debt. If you look at from the beginning of this year up to today, as we speak, all the invoices that have been issued to ECG, which is the off-taker for these IPPs, they have met only 21% of those invoices.
In fact, in the case of Asogli, they said 26.
Yes, no, I'm saying that on the average.
On the average.
On the average. But the reason being that, for example, you have a company like LA Power that has been producing power from the beginning of the year up to now. They have not received 1 cent. So when you average all those, and that's why I'm using the word about 21% of the invoices that have been issued. That is not the only issue. There's also, and that's how when my brother says that a car or maybe financial issues do not put off your lives. If you have all the ingredients and the person who is supposed to supply you the ingredients refuses to supply because you are not paying, it's a financial issue, it's not a technical issue. Why do I say so? For example, you take our OCTP partners. Our OCTP partners, that's the ENI people, they produce gas for us to be able to run our generating plants. On the average, they do about 245 million scarf of gas every day. Because they were owing in the excess of about $200 million, they had asked government to give them these monies. Government had refused. As their first measure, they decided to reduce their supply from 245 to 210. Then government still refused, but at the end of the day, the government had paid even less than 5% of that amount. So they escalated their actions by reducing it from the 210 to 171 million scar, which is just the GMPC contractual volumes that they have agreed with GMPC. Meanwhile, as a country, even when all our fields are supplying gas to its maximum, we still have a deficit of about 50 million scarf of gas that we need to augment. And that's why ECG on monthly basis will go and procure light crude oil for $46 million. So it is not an issue of the fact that it's a technical, it's because all the ingredients are there. But because you have not paid, this is the challenge. 2, Asogli had to go off because Asogli does not have a guarantee like the other companies. For example, you take Power. Power has an LC. And so they can rely on their LC when you
and some of them, they've been drawing down.
They've drawing down on those
the
ones.
World Bank.
Yes. But if you look at Asogli's arrangement, it is not that. So they will have to normally cough out resources to be able to deal with and that's why they had to go to that level. Randy, for all the generating plants that we have in this country, one of the things that they do is that whenever they are going to do, and I'm just telling you because he's indicated that apart from Asogli that went off, which other company went off again? And luckily enough, this program that he's talking about, I happen to have been on that program, the News 5 program. I was there on that program with the ECG boss. And see, usually when you are going to go on maintenance, you discuss with the systems operator, that's GridCo. So you say that you want to go on mandatory maintenance because if you don't do it, your insurance companies will do it. And that's what the ECG boss indicated on that Saturday. So your insurance cover is then under threat. So they were forced to go on. He said some of the generating plants had to go on, how to call it again? Scheduled maintenance. Usually, you will deal with the systems operator to say that, Kojopoku and then Randy Abbey, you are both producers of energy for me. But you all want to go on, maintenance. But because if all of you go off, I'm going to have a challenge in producing power. So you negotiate and you schedule them. Such that whilst you are off the grid and maintaining, we still have enough power to meet our demand, both off peak and peak. You have a situation where all the companies, one, either have reduced their amounts that they're supposed to produce. For example, if you look at AXA has an installed generation capacity of about 370. They were doing around 100 megawatts. That tells you very clearly that even though they can produce that, they reduce their quantities. Why? It was a signal that was being given to, what do you call it, the state. That look, if you don't do this, this is exactly what we do. You had Car Power. Car Power has an installed capacity of about 400 and something. Car Power was doing roughly around 50 megawatts. You have seen it. That has reduced their. These are all signals they are giving to you that look, if you do not pay me, this is exactly what I'm going to do. Now, but you see, the part of the problem, and you see, we say this because we need to situate it within a particular context. All the people you talk to, whether they're the gas producers, whether they're the energy producers, or whether even if you take something like WAPCO, that had also asked that from Monday, that was this Monday, that was yesterday. They were shutting down in terms of their reserve because they were going to do maintenance. They are even also around over $20 million. This is a company that just takes around $3 million a month for the reverse flow. You don't pay them. Now, if you talk to all these people, the central point of the individual who deals with all this is ECG. Randy. And if you look at the situation of ECG today, it is a bit serious. And I'll explain to you. Just look at these figures, and this will help you. If you take ECG, the tariff that they gave to ECG to be able to produce power. So usually they give you a tariff, and therefore, because you state what you call the revenue requirement that you need, and on the basis of the revenue requirement, you are given a tariff. So if you look at it, and I'm just giving you just a figure that I got from PURC, you look at from, say, September 2022 up to April 2023. Look, they were supposed to, ECGs in September, the revenue they were supposed to get was around 1.3 billion. They were able to just receive 488 million. That's what they were able to collect. You had a shortfall of about 62%. Come to somewhere around March, it goes even up to 75% in terms of revenue shortfalls. Now, ECG tells all of us, and this is the part that is sad, that because of these challenges that they are having, the app that they were using in their company, they said, look, we need to introduce another digitized platform that will ensure that will improve on these collections, and therefore we can pay all the players that are upstream. Unfortunately, they go and do, in terms of just the infrastructure alone, and Randy, listen to this very carefully, the infrastructure alone, you don't owe the telcos and other things who really could need in terms of the source of, the network and other things. An upfront payment of $171.8 million is given to this company called Hoptel. Now, even though Hoptel says that they received 25 million, ECG said they gave them $171.8 million Ghana cedis. In fact, as I speak to you, as at last week, it was a subject of investigation even within the ECG itself, management itself, as to where the difference went. That's the first point. Two, apart from just this upfront payment of 171.8 million Ghana cedis, the money when they collect the money doesn't go to ECG's account. The money goes and sits at Hoptel. Hoptel has an account that the money sits in there. Hoptel collects this money, and then they charge for all the revenue they collect. They charge service charge 0.95% of the total revenue. So it tells you that on the average, they make for a month, they make about 10 million. And this is a contract for 5 years. Two, after they have collected the money, when they are transferring the money to ECG's account, for ECG now to have access to the money and pay the players who currently today are not getting the money to meet their operational costs, and because of that they are suffering. They charge an extra 0.85% of the money that they are transferring. First question, ECG is always not even aware what the total amount has been collected. What amount? Because, for example, I should know that you collected 100 Ghana cedis. And out of the 100 Ghana cedis, 0.9% of it is being used as your service charge. And after that, 0.8% is being charged when you are transferring the money to me. ECG does not even know how much is being collected. Now, there's always a discrepancy between the figures that are going. You know, we have this Ghana Interbank, GIPS, Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems. The figures from that and the figures of Hoptel, there's always a discrepancy. To the extent that ECG officials today, some of them are calling for an audit of actually how much Hoptel actually takes and how much is being given out. They do not know this. And this is a company that was procured based on sole sourcing. This is a company that was procured with a proper value for money, assessment. And so when you have situations like this, it just tells you how you cannot pay the, the players upstairs. And the sad part, and we have consistently said this, when you state them, Kojo Poku and Co will come and justify it. Even the small, I'm coming. Even the small money that after Hoptel has taken the chunk of it, after they have done in terms of transfer of the monies that they are transferred, the 0.8 they take from even the revenue that they have collected. When this money comes, as per the agreement that has been done, whether it is the IMF, whether it is even Akufo-Addo, let me use that word because PURC states that the president had given that particular directive, that put this money in a particular account that we can all see and it is transparent. And that when we all see this money, we will be able to then transfer, allocate this money based on the cash waterfall mechanism that we are dealing with. You decide to run 61 accounts across 16 banks. When you have been asked to run a single auditable account, say that when I come and I know that as a player within the value chain, I know that it is 10 cedis that you got. Based on the cash waterfall mechanism that we have all agreed, this is the amount I need. I do not have visibility as to the amount that has been taken. And so when you have Asogli then say that, look, you owe me $256 million. You have not paid. I do not have anything to rely on in terms of guarantees. And so I will stop producing. You should understand where they are coming from. When you have early power pretending to be doing, pretending to be doing maintenance. Because since he started producing power and energy to you, you have not paid him a cent.
They got $5 million in March. $5 million in March. You said they've not been paid a cent. Early power from my checks got $5 million.
When did they get it?
In March. In March, they got $5 million.
Where is your source of? Where is your source?
PLC.
Is that the only payment they
Hold on. In March, Early Power was given $5 million. Now, what I'm being told by PLC now is that.
Let talking. I was quiet.
Let's just tolerate this for a minute.
Okay.
In what PLC is being said is telling me now is that the cash waterfall has allocated money to Early Power between between April to August. Cash waterfall has allocated money, but ECG has not paid. But in March, they've been paid $5 million.
But so it means
the money. They've not been paid.
Hold on. You said they've not been paid cents. In March, Early Power was paid $5 million. Aside that, from April to August, they've been allocated money from the cash waterfall.
How much were they?
That I don't have. I can get that.
So the point on Early, you're confirming that Early should have been paid from January to October.
Yes.
However, they've been only paid in March $5 million.
No, they've been paid money. What I'm getting information as we go along. I'll just
what you read.
He said they've not gotten a cent.
No, so I'm saying that what you read.
$5 million have been paid to them in March. Yes. Between April and August, Cash Waterfall has allocated money. I'll get the exact amount that Cash Waterfall has.
No, but you said that although Cash Waterfall
has allocated, ECG has not been paid.
The allocation is nothing.
No, allocation means that they should be paid.
No.
ECG has not affected the payment. So I'll find out how that is. I'll find out.
But where November is ending. Yeah, you are talking about end of August.
You know why I'm quiet? Because all that my brother is saying about ECG.
So let me make him. Okay.
I'm not going to argue with ECG.
Let him
I agree with you.
Let him finish.
You see, when you talk about cash waterfall has allocated, you see there's a formula.
Yes.
So in that formula, I know I'm supposed to receive.
To me, yes.
Yeah, I know what I'm supposed to receive. So whether even you have gotten or you have not gotten, there's always an allocation that is given. The question is whether there has been actual release of those monies to me as a provider of energy.
$5 million in March.
You see, you understand? You had even said that you said you said PURC. I'm yet to see what figure where you got this thing from PURC document. Is it a PURC document? You are chatting with somebody.
Yes.
Maybe for you know. Maybe the match is also allocated.
No. The president is paid. That one is paid.
But you know something, Randy. As a country, and in this particular thing I'm going to talk about, myself and Kojo Poku, we had issues. We dealt with this issue those days when he was not a presidential candidate and he became the thing I'm going to talk about. No, the thing I'm going to talk about now.
I don't know, so I don't.